Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Here at STARCARD Podcast, we get a glimpse at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. My name is Breakaway Ray. I like talking about the breakaway civilizations because we're breaking away from the one we're in now. You've tuned in to a live tarot throw on January 10th, 2026. If you've tuned into this program, there's probably a message for you because it is 7-Card Saturday. I'm going to throw 7 cards. They're going to tell us a story, and this message in the tarot cards is for you. So let's not wait. Let's go to the tarot cam. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Whether you're catching this live or you're catching this on a recording, it's 7-Card Saturday, and we have a tarot message just for you, whatever time your time bubble is. So here's the Robin Wood deck. I'm going to start shuffling, and we're going to invite the tarot world to send us a positive, helpful message, something to inspire us this weekend, because this is STARCARD Podcast, and we're all about rejuvenation and looking at things in a positive light. All right, welcome to 7-Card Saturday. I'm going to say that again. Welcome to 7-Card Saturday. This 7-card tarot message is for you. Thanks for joining me. 7 cards coming at you, everybody. All right, let's get 4 more. All right, there's 5. Let's get 2 more. All right, this is for entertainment purposes only. We're all just having fun here at STARCARD. All right, let me get the lights the way I like them. That'll work for me. Almost. I'm almost there, everybody. All right, here we go. 7-Card Saturday. Ready to have some fun with the tarot world. I can't wait to see what the message is. First up, the beginning card is the beginning card. It's the Fool. It's a brand new beginning. We should have blind faith and spontaneous optimism. Wow. Hey, everybody, you saw me shuffle the cards. Here is the second card in the major arcana, the High Priestess. She talks about sacred knowledge and high morals. She's a very mystical person. Well, maybe this is the first step. It's the first day in the rest of your life exploring the spirit world and what you recognize of the spirit world. Let's keep going. Sweet. It's the 10 of Cups, everybody. It's a dream come true. So you're just beginning to explore the spirit world, and it's going to turn out to be a dream come true. Quit while you're ahead, Breakaway Ray. That's a lovely story. But no, it's 7-Card Saturday. We got 4 more to go. All right, keep it going, Tarot World. You're on fire. Oh, on fire indeed. So I want to point out that the 2 of Cups card here, the 2 of Cups card is in the middle of 2 sets of 3 cards. So it represents like a scale, a balance. And there's a special image here with the 2 of Cups. It reminds me of old 20th century television shows when 2 people would be talking on the phone and they would show it with a split screen. This 2 of Cups card also, signifies to me that the spirit world is communicating to us, which is what we're doing. We're throwing tarot cards to see what the spirit world has to say. Usually I emphasize that point if it shows up in the middle, if it shows up at the beginning or end of a sentence, but here it shows up in the middle. So I think there's some kind of fancy message going on with these 3 cards. We're starting our spiritual journey, and it's going to be a dream come true, says the tarot world. And now get ready for this, everybody. Let's just turn them all over at once. Cool. I could never have imagined this. All right, I'm trying to get it so that you guys see all the cards and the pictures here. Okay, so we have the 6 of Pentacles, the 4 of Pentacles, and the 6 of Swords. The 6 of Pentacles talks about giving and receiving. That could also be a message to us to keep the energies cycling. Okay, another message that the 6 of Pentacles tells us is that you're going to get paid, and if indeed you're going to get paid, why don't you save some of that money for a rainy day? Says the 4 of Pentacles. Okay, and then what is the purpose of this big journey? Maybe we don't always see where the journey is going to take us. But if you look at this wonderful, wonderful card, you can see on the left side, there is a ghost in the back of the boat. The Six of Swords reminds us that the spirit world is guiding us from rougher waters to calmer waters. And I think that it kind of goes along with my plans for today's STARCARD podcast program. So everybody, congratulations on starting your new spiritual journey. It's going to be a dream come true. The tarot world, the spirit world, your spirit guides are in communication with you and in connection with you the whole time. So get ready to get paid for your hard work, and then be wise with your investments, and continue allowing the spirit world to guide you in the right direction. Thank you, tarot world. That was another really wonderful message. Nothing but satisfaction from the tarot cards every time we turn on the camera here at StarCard Podcast. All right. So before I come back upstairs, I'm going to come back upstairs anyway. Here we go. So in case you would like a reading for the second part of the show, which is in about 25 minutes, please go to the chat and type in all capital letters tarot, please. And you can even request a particular deck. If you've been here before, you know I got a nice collection of decks to choose from. So now we're going to go back downstairs. I'm going to show you the decks that are available. And I brought one from the reserve shelf out to share with everyone. Again, I haven't shared this one in a while. But anyway, let's go back downstairs and check out the cards. Yeah. Here we go. It's getting heavy. All right, so I've talked about and used this gold foil deck, many times. Lots of people like the gold foil deck, and I call this one the dark gold foil deck because there's a light foil deck. Here we go, and I want to show you how the card is a little bit different. Oh, wow, I didn't even open this one yet. I haven't opened one over on my other shelf, but it's a little bit lighter. So if anyone requests it, I will bust it out. This one's brand new. I'm not going to unbox this one right now. I have one that's open just like it. I got doubles, right? All right. So I got the gold foil deck. One of my favorites, the Ethereal Bloom deck, but I didn't even pull it out today. My very first deck was the Stained Glass Tarot. I'm a big fan of stained glass windows. There's the Lost Soul Tarot, which, I mean, this deck is for experts. Also, it is a very beautiful deck. It's got the gold on the side. I can't tell you how wonderful it feels to shuffle it. Who are we looking at there? Oh, the Page of Swords. New ways of communicating. Curiosity. All right. But anyway, you have to really know your stuff because, for example, when you get, Four of Wands, they just show you four wands. There's no other imagery. That Sun card looks beautiful. I like the Star card, obviously. That's the major arcana. Here's some swords for you. Here's some pentacles for you. So the Lost Soul Tarot is for expert tarot readers, in my opinion. I don't know if I'm an expert. I've only been doing this since March. I often refer to a guidebook in case I feel like I need a little help. All right, so we talked about the Lost Soul Tarot. Check out this. Here's one called the Old Style Tarot by a guy named Alexander Ray. That sounds pretty cool. Okay, and then there's the Mermaid Tarot, and we've got the Robin Wood Tarot, which we've already seen, and we have the Classic Tarot with the words on it. That you learn tarot in a hurry when you use this deck. Did I cover everybody? Oh, I've got the Neon Tarot over here, and then I got to show you the 88 gemstones. Let me move these out of the way. So I have this other wonderful deck called the 88 Gemstones. It's got a big box because of this guidebook. What a beautiful, comprehensive, detailed guidebook, which I have not read. But anyway, here are the cards. And again, I've used these before, but here's the fun part about these cards. It's just a gold etched image with familiar images. Okay, but it's just gold and black, right? So that's called the 88 Gemstones, in case you're interested. I'm going to set these aside for now. And then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what my presentation's about today. I wonder if people are tuning in today just to see if I'm going to talk trash to my spirit guides again. I'm just teasing. I love my spirit guides. I thank them every day for this weird, wonderful, mysterious opportunity and all the support and protection that they give me. So I'm trying to do the best I can to cooperate with my spirit guides. That doesn't mean I should like bow down and be obedient. I'm allowed to ask questions. They didn't send me down here with no curiosity and no determination to figure out what's going on. I'm Breakaway Ray. I want to know what's going on. So I hope you enjoyed the last 2 podcasts. I have more than 150 videos at StarCard Podcast. You might want to enjoy and explore. Go check out the Tarotpedia. Go check out any of the playlists. One of the playlists I'm going to mention today is the John Whitberg playlist, because I'm going to be referring to his book, The Man with Periwinkle Eyes. He's on volume 4. He just published volume 4. I didn't put any links in the description for you today, everybody. Not on the John Whitberg book, but you can find it without too much difficulty. And we'll talk more about that in a little while. But again, everybody, if you're waiting for tarot for the audience, it's going to be in about 25 or 30 minutes. And, you could just like look at the screen. If you're watching the recording, you could slide ahead. And when you see the table come down, when you see the camera go down and I'm throwing cards on the table, and we're going for tarot with the audience. Okay. All right. So I'm going to show you, first of all, some books before I get to my other prepared remarks. So I gotta reorganize my domestic situation a little bit. I've been looking for some of these books for a long time, and I had them like in a special place so I wouldn't lose track of them. And anyway, I rediscovered them today. So I want to show you what I've got. I've got one called The Land of the Gods by Helena Blavatsky. I don't think I need to tell anybody about Ms. Blavatsky. You've probably heard the name before if you're tuning in to StarCard Podcast. And if you haven't, you can look her up and you can see how far I am in the book. Okay. And this is about her journey to inner earth around the area of Tibet. Anyway, it's like if you're into what, quote unquote, spiritual knowledge, you start with Ms. Blavatsky. She's one of the top 10 people you need to know about. Okay. Now, here's another author I've mentioned a couple of times on this show. In fact, if you saw my interview with the Psychic Duck, which I think I put out in December, we talked about this. She is the one who recommended this book to me. Nothing in this book is true, but it's exactly how things are. And you can see about how far I am in this book. I'm so like I'm in the middle of a couple of books, huh? Anyway, you see some aliens and some spaceships and a really Dali-esque double image in the sky. Maybe that represents consciousness in the universe. Mr. Frisell, again, he's one of the people you would want to know about. He's more current than Ms. Blavatsky. Bob Frisell, I think he still shows up on Rob Khalil's Typical Skeptic podcast. That's where I've seen him do his interviews. So anyway, here's another book I want to share with you. It talks about sacred geometry and also talks about Bob Frisell's personal experience, kind of stuff like we hinted at in the last few shows about following your soul's path. Sometimes there's a plan to deliver some kind of catastrophe in order to redirect your life to do what you're supposed to do while you're down here, if you have a spiritual mission. And my opinion is, based on what I've learned, if you're on planet Earth right now, you're an old soul, you have a mission, you may not be aware of the mission, but you're here for a reason. And I also think that it's a privilege for you to be here. Nobody, most of us wouldn't agree with that, including me, but you have to see it as a privilege because we don't get these kinds of experiences on other planets. And this is a special time for Mother Earth. Anyway, let's move on to the next book. So check out this book. I've actually been looking for this book for months. Again, it was in my special cabinet. It's called The Sacred Prayers, Maps of Intent. And this book is by a man named Christopher Macklin. Looks like. And there's a one of the first pages in the book basically instructs you not to read this book as a presentation, like don't do it on a podcast, because this person's protecting their intellectual property. In any case, Mr. Macklin wrote some really wonderful prayers, and I'm going to tell you what the prayers are about and a little bit how they work, because I don't want to get in trouble for copyright. I'm just telling you what this book is about. And I don't think that people should not know about this book. Okay, so here are some of the prayers. I'm going to have to get my light out here. Yes, sorry about the special effects here, everybody. Okay, there's protection prayers, a pyramid prayer of protection, 27 esoteric Merkaba field prayers, disable radionic machines prayer, remove spiritual attack. There's a prayer for that. Remove manipulation from your life. There's a prayer for that. And I'll just mention this last one here. Remove, conscious and subconscious blocks. There's prayers for that. Oh, okay. I do want to mention this. They have a prayer for water and for food and things like that. Now, what this man is doing, in my opinion, is he's recognizing that humans are not just this meat sack that's all dressed up and talking to you right now, for example, right? We're multidimensional. We have multiple things going on, even if we're not aware of it. And to boot, we have technology in our brain and in our DNA to change our reality. And nobody tells us about this because they want us to passively yield our powers to other people who don't have the same high morals and ethics that we have. Okay. We're trying to be nice guys and go along to get along. We can't be doing that anymore. Okay. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem. We don't have to do that anymore. It's kind of like, if you remember them, I don't know why I'm thinking about this now, but there's a movie called Mad Max. And one of them was Beyond Thunderdome. And in it was a character called the Master Blaster, but the Master Blaster was two people. There was the big, strong guy. And then there was the little person who was bossing him around and would ride on his shoulders. Well, the two were symbiotic. They got along, and they, for most of the movie, they were a team. But at the same time, if the big guy who was carrying the little guy, if he ever got like upset and he said, I don't want to listen to this guy anymore, he wouldn't have to. He'd just throw him off his shoulders and go about his life. I'm just using that character as an example. So what this man does with his prayers, he designs them so that you're commanding. I did say command. You are commanding God because you are also God. You have God in you. And he says, I command you, God. I'm paraphrasing. I'm not reading out of the book, okay? I command you, God, to charge this water and make it whole, etc., etc., etc. I command you, God, to remove conscious and subconscious blocks. So now I don't have to think about the blocks that I'm trying to figure out what they are. I don't even have to do that. I can just command my brain, because my mind is God. It's part of God, to take care of these issues for me. So if you haven't checked out this book, I invite you to. Now we got to another book I'm really happy to share with you. And I did actually read this entire book. I mean, I've got like Post-it notes in it, but those are just flags because I was studying the book. Okay. So this book, well, I got to tell you that this book is about accessing the Akashic records. And so now I have to back up, and I want to share with you. There's a book. I get that wrong every time. There it is over there underneath the tree. The Convoluted Autobiography, and my other book, Let's Go Off Planet with Breakaway Ray. We're going to do that today. Okay. Both of these books are linked in the description. Anyway, in the Convoluted Autobiography book, I put in interviews that I've had with different psychics. And it's so funny because a bunch of these psychics all tell me that I'm supposed to teach people how to, figure out how to access the Akashic records. So, very quickly, I'll summarize for you what I shared. I shared in that book. First of all, I was writing the book at the time, and I was interviewing with the very famous psychic Liz Cross, wonderful lady, really enjoy spending time with her, but I did hire her, and it was like my first interview with her. And I said, I feel like I'm almost done. I'm almost done with this book over here. How am I doing with this book? And the word came back that the book is great, but you didn't put anything about the Akashic records in there. I'm all, what do you mean? And then even Psychic Liz Cross is all, you don't even know what the Akashic records are. You are, I don't know what they are. And you're right. I don't know what they are, Psychic Liz Cross. So anyway, I had to learn about that. And then also in the book, speaking of Akashic records, I did an interview with Sean Bond, Bond, Sean is how he spells his first name. I'm mentioning this in case you don't know who Sean Bond is. You can look him up. He's on Facebook. He's got a YouTube channel. He's a wizard. He's a magician. He knows stuff. So anyway, I'm interviewing with Sean Bond. And that's also in the book. And he tells me that I have a library, like a spiritual library. My higher self or someone along those lines has a library the size of the state of Texas. And, that sounds awesome to me because I like knowledge. And like, I'm sure one of the first things out of my mouth was, hey, Sean, how do I get access to that library? All right, moving on. There are 2 chapters in this book, The Convoluted Autobiography, where I detail my interviews with someone called the Psychic Duck. And you can see the Psychic Duck in the Merry Breakaways playlist. That's the December playlist over at StarCard Podcast. And so I even asked the Psychic Duck while I was writing that book, how am I doing on the book? And the Psychic Duck tells me, yeah, you're doing good, but you haven't put anything about how to, teach people how to access the Akashic records. All right, so I don't claim to really know how to access the Akashic records. People keep trying to explain it to me. Different psychics keep trying to explain it to me and remind me. I'm sure I'm going to figure it out, but I'm going to share, of course, what I know, starting with some funny stuff, some funny coincidences. Let me see if I've got this right. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, very good. So I want to show you this book now. It's a book by Linda Howe. And I don't want you to confuse that. I think there's another Linda Howe in the paranormal field. I think that's Linda Moulton Howe. She's quite famous. This is a different lady. This is just Linda Howe, no middle name or middle initial. She doesn't talk about spaceships and stuff like that and aliens. But what I like is, it's how to read the Akashic records. And check it out, everybody. It's a book about how to do it. And her name is Howe. So I really like that. And when I started reading this book, one of the things that happened was she explained her journey to learn about the Akashic records. And the first time that she even heard about the Akashic records was when she was connecting with somebody in the state of Texas. And I thought that was a nice coincidence when Sean Bond told me about my library and this lady talked about it. Was like a synchronicity, right? I'm supposed to recognize that. Let me see if there's one more note here that I had about this book. Oh, yeah, okay. So regarding the Akashic records, the Psychic Duck, very wise person. The Psychic Duck, wise duck, should I have said, recommended that she did this twice, by the way. She did it. I met with her like a couple of weeks ago, obviously. I met with her like a year ago or whatever. But the Psychic Duck said, you need to go to a retreat, Breakaway Ray, spend a couple of days with these people and these people who understand how to do it. And then, just click because you're not going to be learning anything. You're just going to be remembering because you already know how to do it. So I'm not keen on taking little weekend trips. I don't know what to say. It doesn't excite me. So you want to call me a homebody? That's great. Because I got a nice place where I'm at and I feel very comfortable here. And I would be like going someplace else and I would be uncomfortable. I wouldn't be able to concentrate on what it is I'm supposed to be learning. That's how I feel right now. So I never did go to a retreat or anything, but I did buy this book. I did what I could to figure out what I know about accessing the Akashic records. I've kind of been sharing a little bit of that with you. Obviously, I do some of it when I'm throwing tarot cards. But I did want to share all these books with you. This is not the main message that I have today. I'm going to be talking about technology that's hidden from us in a moment. But when I did find these books, I'm in the flow. Let me get these books out and share them with the audience. So go learn about Helena Blavatsky. Check out Bob Frisell, especially if you like sacred geometry. How about this book of prayers? That's where I value my training with religion and Roman Catholicism. They taught me a bunch of prayers, but maybe it wasn't until like I was in my 40s or 50s that I figured out, exactly what prayers are and how they work. But I had good training. And then how about Linda Howe telling us how to get to the Akashic records? So if you do check out my book, The Convoluted Autobiography, at the end, I have some quote unquote meditations. It was a word the Psychic Duck used about accessing the Akashic records. All right. So now, here we go. First up, I want to talk to you about a book. I don't have the hard copy. Okay. It's John Whitberg's book, The Man with Periwinkle Eyes. He does have a YouTube channel called Do You Hear the People Sing? And John Whitberg has a playlist at StarCard Podcast. So I'm mentioning The Man with Periwinkle Eyes. It's in volume 4. And in that book, Mr. Whitberg shares some advanced technology. It seems advanced to us. My point of view is it's out there and it's just being hidden from us. But speaking of hidden technology, so in the description, which is, it's been in the description ever since I started podcasting in August, Dan Willis appears on the Cosmic Brilliance channel, and he tells the entire hidden history of hidden technology up to the point of this recording. Okay, obviously things have changed since he made the recording. So if you're really interested in Breakaway civilization, how did it happen? Where'd the technology go? Who's using it? Why is this stuff going on? Okay, you could learn a lot just by watching that podcast. Okay, he does a very good job with his visuals and his timeline. And then another gentleman about, it's a guy named Gene Decode. I don't know a lot about Mr. Decode. I know that he understands like some machinations of the government that we would never understand, because if we're not, paying attention and we're only looking at mainstream media, for example. He has shown up on the Typical Skeptic podcast. He was on there recently this past week. I did not watch the show. But I saw him a couple of months ago, and he talked a little bit about what I'm about to talk about. All right. So what do I want to talk about? Hey, everybody. I'm reading the book, The Man with Periwinkle Eyes, Volume 4. I'm halfway through. And in the book, John Whitberg talks about a grapefruit-sized energy device that can be used to power an entire home, right? It is a non-centralized grapefruit-sized energy device. I looked around. I know I don't have grapefruits in my house. I was looking around for something about the size of a grapefruit. The only thing I could come up with is a softball, a dirty rubber softball at that. Okay, this thing seems some action. Okay, so anyway, I'm using this as an example. Imagine something this size powering your own home. No need to pay for electricity. Okay, no electricity shutoffs, no blackouts. Okay. Everyone has energy. So I want to check my notes right now because there's some important points I want to make about this stuff. I mean, I really care about this. I mean, if you've been following me for a long time, I'm not real happy about the energy situation and paying for an electric bill, just for starters, right? I mean, this is why I'm turning on the camera and getting angry about the technology. I hope everyone gets fired up with me. All right. So first of all, in the book, I'm checking out my notes, everybody. In the book, The Man with Periwinkle Eyes, I'm just going to recapitulate what Mr. Whitberg says. Okay, I don't have it memorized, but what he says is that energy is a human right, or I'll say it again, energy is viewed as a human right. Now, since we're talking about off-world people, we can say energy is a sentient being right. Now, what Mr. Whitberg says is that even the poor and prisoners and slaves get grapefruit-sized energy devices or have them subsidized. Everyone gets one, even the prisoners and slaves that they treat like dirt, right? Everybody gets one, okay? Because what can you do with an energy device this size? Well, in the Breakaways, you have food replicators. Now you have energy to make food. You have to think about it. Do you want your slaves to go hungry? Do you want them concentrating on how to get some food? No, you want your slaves to be well fed so that they could do the slave work. Okay. So slaves and prisoners, they get energy devices to get their food replicators going. You know what else energy gives us? How about lights? Okay. So that we can work when the sun goes down or whatever planet you're on when the suns go down. Okay. Your energy device could power your vehicle for transportation. I feel really strongly that here on Earth, obviously, we're all raised to think, here comes the mail, here come the bills, get ready to pay the bills. That's just a fact of life. That's the way things are. And here we are on planet Earth. We're God's only creatures. There's nobody else in the universe. Geez, the world might as well be flat at that point. Okay, so I promised myself not to bring that subject up. But anyway, as long as I just want to say, here at StarCard Podcast, I'm trying to remain positive and inspirational. And, you know, if people have particular passions and passionate viewpoints that don't agree, you know, those people need to find their home. So I won't be upset if someone unsubscribes. You know, if I'm not a right match for you, please go find what is a good match for you. All right. So now, what have I got to say about this? I talked about, okay. So I want to say that the technology, you know, you can, there's so much about technology and in particular energy that, you know, you could spend, you know, a couple of hours studying and learning about that and all that stuff. That's fine. I just want to say that Mr. Decode, Gene Decode, that I mentioned a little while ago, he talked about how we're on the cusp of all getting, you know, individual energy devices. Maybe they're going to be grapefruit size. We're not that far away from it, because one of the ways to compete in a capitalistic system is to, you know, obviously produce the product for less money. And if you make energy free, then your factories can definitely undercut sales from other countries. So that's one thing Mr. Decode points out, that it's going to be like required for the world governments to shift, starting with our own, probably. You know, we're going to have to adopt the same model that they have throughout the galaxy. Everybody gets energy. Everybody gets it. Okay. You know, another thing I want to point out, you got a planet here with 8 billion people. So many of us are so smart, and it's overwhelming, you know, just with the numbers. And as soon as, like, you know, it all gets out on the internet, all the things that we can do, we're going to overwhelm the system. It's going to be like a tidal wave of consciousness to fix what we need to fix and move on and join the rest of the breakaways out there. I'm not exactly sure where I was going with all that. I think the point is that we have the power, and I'm happy to let everyone know about the grapefruit size energy device. If you haven't read the book yet, that's fine. I'm telling you, there's a device out there. We've known that there's been free energy since the 1800s that was taken away from us. So, you know, do we want it back? Then we need to keep on asking for it. Okay. You want your human rights? Remind the other humans that we are humans too. And, you know, we want to be treated like the people in the breakaways. Even prisoners and slaves are treated better in that sense. They don't have to pay electric bills. Okay. Anyway, what I want to do now is ask the tarot world to comment on this, and then we'll go to your audience readings. Yeah, I'm doing good on time, everybody. So we're going to ask the tarot world, yo, you heard what we have to say about the grapefruit size energy devices. Tarot world, you have the floor. What would you like to say about that? All right. So I think I've covered my notes. Here we go. Let's go back downstairs. Here we go, everybody. Let's hear from the tarot world on this topic. And when I want lots of details and answers, I use the one with the words on the card. I was using these last night. That's where I was hanging out with my friend. On cards. Oh, wait, no. Well, okay. Yeah, I do want to use. I want to use these, but everyone wants to see 88 gemstones. All right. We'll do it the hard way, Breakaway Ray. Well, I mean, the challenge is, for me, I need to know my stuff. All right. Here we go, everybody. We're asking the tarot world to talk about these grapefruit-sized energy devices. We want to see them integrated into our own lives. And you know what? We don't want to just angrily take apart the infrastructure. You know, that there's no need to do it in an angry way. Everything can be done in a peaceful way. In the United States, this is a country of law and order. It's a rule of law. They already have laws and rules in place to allow for change. So everybody, you know, we don't have to get too aggro. It's not revolutionary France, okay? We don't need to get out the guillotine. We just need to gently guide our leaders to provide the technology and the dignity to all the humans who aren't getting it yet. I'm talking about people on planet Earth here. Thank you, Tarot World. We're commenting on the energy devices from John Whitberg's book. Let's see if I can discern a message, everyone. Here we go. First up, the Two of Pentacles. We are juggling two things. We have multiple priorities. He's on a tightrope, and you know, he could lose his balance at any time. I think that's accurately describing our situation. You know, here we are on Earth. We don't know anything about these grapefruit-sized energy devices, which it looks like the Two of Pentacles guy is holding. Okay, one is being held away from us. But anyway, that might be a presentation a symbolic presentation of what the situation that we're in right now. And the King of Swords says, there's truth and mental clarity involved. Okay, we are clear. I'm glad to say this. I feel like it's a confirmation from the tarot world that I'm doing a good job. We are clear that energy can be provided. All we're doing now is making somebody else, we're fattening their wallets. Okay, you got solar panels. You probably it probably feels like a lease for a car, right? You're still paying through the nose. We know what's going on. So the Two of Swords shows up. I'm trying to remember the Two of Swords. Oh, it's the crossroads. So we are at a crossroads. And look, even on this card, the woman is blindfolded. Okay, so we're at a crossroads. We don't have all the information. It's hidden from us, but we are ready to go. We've got the tools that we need. The Queen of Pentacles, who is the working parent and is so practical, I think she seems to agree with my ideas that it would be practical. Oh, yeah, now I know where I was going with this. It would be practical to give everybody energy. All right, so let's go back upstairs so I can finish my thoughts. I think I lost track for a moment there. That's why I like to have notes. So, if you give 8 billion people on planet Earth energy, now all of a sudden they're not, working 2 or 3 days a week just to pay for energy. What can you do with those 2 or 3 extra days? You can get smart. You can go to school. You can advance your learning. You can become an even more superior person than you were before. You can expand your consciousness. That's a danger to the people that run the system, right? Because as soon as we expand our consciousness, we're remote viewing everything. We already know what's going on, and they can't lie to us anymore. Let's go back downstairs. Yeah, I mean, you want, 8 billion geniuses, okay, bring us our free energy. Okay. 8 billion geniuses. We could all be working on this together. The King of Wands says it's the big picture. All right, I think we're clear on what's going on. Either this is just a reflection of what I'm saying, or the tarot world agrees. The energy is being hidden from us. We are currently at a crossroads, but it is practical, and we see the big picture. We see the truth. Yo, we got 2 kings there. Good job, tarot world. Wait, we're not done. Ah. Hey, you tarot card readers, you know exactly what this means. All right. It's the 4 of Wands, which is the homecoming card, and the Death card, which indicates change, endings, beginnings, and transformation. I think the tarot world is saying that the technology and the change is on the way. It's coming home. Well, thank you, tarot world, for making me look good by being a yes man and agreeing with the things that I had to say. I just think that I should be pat myself on the back for seeing clearly enough to agree with the spirit world. All right, so I'm going to give these a quick shuffle, and then we're going to find out who wants a reading. We're doing good, everybody. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it so much. Wow, those feel fun. All right. I'm going to flip up the camera. I'm going to check in the chat and say hi to people. And then I'm going to see who has snowmen or schoolhouses or who needs one so we can get you some readings. All right, so let's say hi to some friends. Wow. Okay. Hi, Kimberly Bamford. Thanks for coming. This is great. Hi, Lisa Talcott. I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. Hi, Woo Riders. Hi, Derek. Hi, Desiree. Thanks for joining us. Hello, Puck Elf. Long time no see. All right. All right. So I didn't actually check to see who wanted a reading. All I did was say hi to people. Now I'm going to get my snowmen out and pull out the ones that already have names on them. All right. I've got Lisa Talcott. I got Kimberly Bamford. Okay, let's see. One of them fell on the floor. All right. So I'm now going to check and see who wants a reading. And in case I don't have your snowman, I'll just make one for you. So let's check and see. Kimberly Bamford, Neon Deck. Got it. All right, let's check it out. Lisa also wants the Neon Deck. Great. Making it easy. Derek's asking me what my favorite deck is. I think I think it's the 88 gemstones. I like the way they shuffle, but there's like another deck I really like shuffling. I'm not remembering which one it is. Oh, it's the Ethereal Bloom deck. That's the one I like a lot. You guys have seen me use this one a lot. I like this one a lot. All right. I'm still checking to see if someone wants a reading. Lisa Talcott, got it. Yeah, I'm looking for capital letters. Let's see if anyone wants a reading. I don't see a lot of other people asking for a reading. So, you know, you still have time, everybody. I'm going to keep my eye on the bottom corner of the screen there. But so far, I think I only see that Kimberly and Lisa want a reading. Again, there's plenty of time, everybody. I'm happy to throw cards for you. I'll even put your name on a schoolhouse. Okay, but I'll go ahead with the Neon Deck and get going for Kimberly Bamford and Lisa T. Let's start with Kimberly. You know, it's like a rough gig being in the public because there's so many people who are passionate, and I'll be the first to admit that I have been programmed. Let's not forget, I spent more than 3 decades in the public education system as a tool, as the adult in the room. So, you know, I'm still trying to overcome that the moon is not just a big rock. I'm still trying to deal with the idea that I have more than one lifetime, you know, the old reincarnation thing. So I have a lot of biases. I've been sharing them the last couple of days. I think I share them every time I come out. Anyway, here we go. Let's get these cards for Kimberly Bamford. What I guess I'm saying is, you know, and I'll say it so everyone can see my face, show you how sincere I am. I want to thank everyone for being patient and forgiving with me. You know, I'm not a perfect person, but I obviously I do try to present ideas that people should think about. I try to challenge the norm a little bit. So where I fall short in your eyes, I appreciate your forgiveness and your mercy. I'm hoping I'm still entertaining first and also informing. All right, back to Kimberly's reading. All right, Tarot World, Kimberly Bamford is back. Let's get another great inspirational message, please, for Kimberly. These cards are for Kimberly. That one wanted to come out. These cards are for Kimberly. All right, we'll do that one too. All right, Kimberly, let's see what the cards have to say. Strength. Besides the fact that, you know, strength means strong, it also means influential. And then the thing I like to point out about the strength card is that there's 2 different species there, and they're quite comfortable and close to each other. Perhaps they have a telepathic connection. The woman in the image has an infinity sign. What do they call that? The Mobius up by her crown chakra. So there's a lot of telepathy and spiritual connection. It's the King of Pentacles. Let me check. I beg your pardon. It's the 9 of Pentacles. It's the Nine of Pentacles who becomes the Queen of Pentacles later. The Nine of Pentacles talks about the fruits of your labor, having all your ducks in a row. You're ready to go. So it really looks like, I mean, I'm just telling you what I see in the cards and how it's making me feel. It looks like you got your Nine of Pentacles, but in a big way. You have all your ducks in a row in a big way. Like you did your Four of Pentacles, you saved for a rainy day, you've been building up for a long time, you've been saving up for that vacation for a whole year. You did it in a big way, says the Strength card. Wow. Then the Three of Swords shows up and talks about heartache. And then the King of Pentacles talks about, well, let's go to the book and find out what it talks about. I want to be clear on this. The King of Pentacles, you are attracting wealth. You are good in business, grounded, stable, and a hard worker. Your hard work is paying off, and you are reaching goals. You are seeing things through to the end, and you are being proud of your achievements. You are enterprising, resourceful, principled, and emotionally and financially secure. So despite the Three of Swords that talks about pain and heartache and loss, you know, you're still in a very good position here. And that's followed up with the Five of Cups. You know, whatever these Three of Swords would have been, whatever that heartache was, obviously you're still in a good position, and you're in such a good position that you can walk away, says the Five of Cups. It was good while it lasted, but you know what? I'm moving on. Okay. And I like to say this, and I'm not saying I believe it. I'm trying to convince myself of this, but there's always Three of Swords in our lives. And what always happens? We always move past it, even if we have to walk on away from it. Okay. We did our part. Okay. If no one else can advance with us, we need to move on. Here we go, Kimberly. We have the Eight of Wands, which indicates travel, flight, and something coming in fast. But then the Seven of Cups says there's a bunch of opportunities. So I think that's wonderful. I don't know what this story is, but you had it all together. There was some kind of hiccup that didn't matter, but you're walking away because you can see that there's so many more opportunities ahead of you. Well, right on, Kimberly Bamford. Congratulations. Thanks for inviting me to read. I appreciate your feedback, Kimberly Bamford. Thank you. And Lisa Talcott, you're next. And yeah, thank you, Kimberly. And Lisa, what's going on? Yeah, your hand is still here. Hang on, let me fix it. Lisa, you cracked me up. Anyway, I'm glad that these cards work for you. Let's throw a nice, inspirational, fun message for Lisa also, please. Hey, everybody. Anybody else want a reading? Go ahead and let me know soon. Here we go. These cards are for Lisa. A fun, inspirational message for Lisa, please. Thanks, Tarot World. Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah. I'm not going to forget, Lisa. Here we go. Cue the music to the Harlem Globetrotters. Sweet Georgia Brown. Here we go. All right, these cards are for Lisa Talcott. This is for entertainment purposes only. That was totally entertaining what I just did. Okay, first up, hey, have an Ace of Pentacles. I'm going to read about that. Ace of Pentacles, the time is coming for you to manifest your goals, achieve your dreams, and realize your potential. Financial new beginnings, career or business opportunities, investments, savings, prosperity, and manifestation are coming your way. Awesome. Next, it's the Three of Pentacles, beginning something and working with others, collaboration, cooperation. Sweet, you got the Strength card also. So you and your team have a big opportunity. You've been blessed by the universe. It's been handed to you. Check that out. It's the Two of Pentacles. Have we seen this guy enough today? Okay. Are you juggling two different worlds? Probably. You're multitasking? Yay. But guess what? The Three of Cups says you get to celebrate. because you worked with your team on this beautiful project in a big way. You're very influential. Yeah, there's power in numbers. Way to go. Well, we're not done, Lisa. What's the last part of your message? I can't believe this. You guys all saw I drew these randomly, okay? But the the Eight of Wands there, again, talks about speed, something coming in fast. And then there's the Emperor, and he talks about control. So very soon, you're going to feel very empowered. Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for inviting me to read. Well, everybody, I guess we're going to close up shop for the day. I appreciate you being here. And if I don't come out tomorrow, it might be on Monday, although I don't like to show up on Mondays. I got some things going on in my regular life, so I can't really predict a schedule. But I do appreciate you tuning in and keeping an eye on the podcast. Subscribe, like, share, hit the notifications button because I always post like 90 minutes before I actually go live. Anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much. You make it a lot of fun.